Hello. Oh! Haha! I have killed the necromancers in Howling Cave. I should return to the Shrine of Meridia. And I will. Don't slap me! My god. How rude can you be, really? Give me your ectoplasm. So I guess that's that. This is a headless zombie. Maybe that's why it was discarded. We're just standing aside. Didn't turn out that good. A black soul gem with nothing inside. That's pretty good, actually. Necromancers carrying black soul gems. Actually, that is, I think that's lore breaking. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm not sure. Should that be lore breaking? Should they have black soul gems? I mean, it is their faction stuff. It's the black soul gems, but you'd expect them not to have that, and only you are able to craft them now. That basically you took over their place. Although the necromancers are still there when you go to the place where you kill them all, because they respawn. It's really weird.
Well done. Those creatures were an affront to all life, and they have paid the price for their actions. Take this ring and go with my blessing.
Meridia was gratified that I had performed the task assigned to me. As a reward, I have been given the Ring of the Khajiit Ii. The Ring of the Khajiit Ii? Chameleon, 35% on self and 45 speed. That's not too bad. It's been a while since I've had Chameleon. It isn't too bad at all. Okay. So, around here somewhere, there's a shrine. I think it's this way. Yeah, I was damaged on strength. That's why I was having so much trouble. Okay, next. I have found the Shrine of Purity, but something is wrong with his worshippers. They seem frozen in time, mindless. None move or speak. They're not frozen in time, you dummy. If they were frozen in time, you wouldn't see their light. Or, you know, you wouldn't see them. Also, they move. Their eyes are closed. Unconscious. Why did you describe being unconscious as frozen in time? I was just picking mushrooms. You know how it is. Purite. Aye.
This one moves. A welcome change. So, mortal, you have found my shrine, and you have seen my followers. They are an embarrassment to me. The fools cast a spell in the hopes of summoning me to them. It was prideful and foolish, and it has had its consequences. My followers are trapped between worlds. Their bodies here on this plane, their souls in Oblivion. I would have you reunite the bodies and the souls. I will transport you to the plane of Oblivion in which they are trapped. Find their souls. When all are collected, I will return you here. Return to me when you are prepared.
Purite has told me that 5 of his followers, in an attempt to get closer to him, capital H, have transported their souls to a plane of Oblivion. The Daedra would like me to travel there and carry their souls back to this world. I should approach the statue again when I am prepared to go. probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't. And the reason why I shouldn't... I shouldn't. Should I? I shouldn't. Sorry, we're not doing that one. The reason why is because we're going to a plane of Oblivion. That's the reason. So we're gonna leave this for later. Anyway, lovely place. Got a bridge and all.
Hello. You will not stay in Leowin. You just visit. Of course, too many Argonians here already. People here don't like Argonians. Too many already.
I don't like you.
Speak with Jabari here in town. He's good with light armor. Far better than I. Shadow hide you.
Screw you. Where's Jabari? Hi.
You look like a bright one.
You're not Jabari. Hi. Are you? No. Hi.
A pleasure to speak with you.
I'm sure it is. You train.
I'm willing to teach if you're willing to learn.
That's why I'm here.
Good day.
To you as well.
How are you today? What?
I need training.
If you want training from me, you're going to have to get something for me first. I need a new elven cuirass. Nothing fancy, nothing enchanted. Just a decent piece of armor. You get that for me, and I'll train you. That's the deal.
Sounds good. An elven cuirass. I suppose I can find one easily. Doggo! Oh. And we found it. Thanks, elven cuirass. That's the one we need. Hi. I got the armor.
What do you want?
What do you want?
That looks like the armor I asked for. Well done. That wasn't so hard, was it? Now, if you need training, I'd be ever so happy to provide it.
I don't need training.
Good day.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, please.
Have you heard any rumors?
Did you hear about Braden Lyrian?
I got it.
A vampire hunter.
Not like
named
Skyrim,
Raynald
where Windhelm
Draylus
is
made
like
his
4
way
quests
into
in it.
town,
Yeah.
snuck into
This
his house
quest,
and
this game
killed
is very
him.
focused on quest lines.
Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Raynil slew him. Kind of strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such a likable fellow.
Don't worry about it. I was a vampire for ages. Nobody figured it out either.
He's seeing you.
It was a good thing that, it's a good thing that I'm not anymore. I think we got that quest automatically selected as our main quest, though. Because I didn't have any quest at the moment. Since we were just exploring Brendan Lyrian's house. Excuse me.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves, our Raynald Draylus, will be allowed access.
But can I talk to Raynald Draylus?
The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information.
I think you need a little bit of persuasion.
Good day. You're going to have to leave.
I am really not.
I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Rainiel Draelis, we may never have uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we've found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Rainiel arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you, so you can see we really don't need any help, but thanks for the offer.
It's fine. I mean, you're super gullible, because he's clearly a vampire. I mean, Rainiel Draelis is.
I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living.
He doesn't. He's a vampire.
As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense.
They're really not masters, because I'm seeing through their plot, and I'm not even talking to them. You're just an idiot. And also, that was a line about Brandon Lyrian. Have you heard any other rumors?
Old Bayanlin is dead. I heard it was a horrible accident. Feel free to question anyone in town. They shouldn't give you too much trouble.
They shouldn't. Repeated tampering with Brandon's corpse is a crime and will alert the authorities. Will it, though? Because I don't think it will. I mean, it shouldn't. Oh well, they're just telling me that I can't do that. Excuse me.
Stop! You violated the law! Sorry, I have a lot of work to do.
I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me.
They're really dumb. I want to help.
Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast.
Tell me what happened.
I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open, and my Braden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Rainiel Draelis. He said he was a vampire hunter, and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Rainiel, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carius, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Rainiel convinced Carius that Braden was a vampire.
Minutes of convincing. Minutes and convincing. Sure. The evidence looks bad for Brandon. Or Braden. Sorry, I don't know your husband's name.
Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing. The guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Rainiel character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. Look, there isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name.
Well, Rainiel is obviously a vampire, so that's gonna be easy. That's that.
I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and make him tell you the truth. I swear he's a liar.
Don't worry about it.
I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Phew. So where am I gonna find Draylen? These names. Well, let's go to the tavern. Where would the vampire hang out? Oh, maybe that's him. Hi.
Head on.
Edla. Excuse me.
Edla. Edla Darkheart. If you want to be a marksman, I can train you. If you can breathe, I can teach you.
Sounds good to me. But you didn't happen... yeah, okay.
Take care.
I do need... Oh, it's the Mages Guild. It's all on fire. Ah, well. I do need marksman training for every once in a while. Are you Draylen?
Hail! I'm Gan Lusef, castle mage and healer. Actually, I'm not much of a healer. I can blow the meat off you, but I'm not much good at sticking it back on.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm new to Bruma. Sort of. Not really.
This is my first posting after Arcane University. The Countess and Bird like my work well enough.
Are you a member of the Mages Guild?
Farewell.
Because he shouldn't be. I mean, they're all dead. They died. Except for that one. Anyway, what I'm looking for is a tavern. And I believe there is a tavern somewhere.
What's your story?
It's good. This is the inn. And of course, we have been here before. I think. Excuse me. Hi. May I?
Greetings to you. Welcome to Bruma, stranger. Hafid Hollowleg. I'm your host at Gerald View. Bed, food, whatever you need.
I need info. I just need info on Raylan Dralis.
Ah, you mean that vampire hunter. He's staying over at Olav's Tap and Tack. It's near the city gates. You can't miss it.
Oh. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Here we are.
Good to see you. The Emperor and his 3 sons dead, right under the noses of the Imperial Guard.
Evening.
It's a disgrace.
Hmm.
The Elder Council will take care of things. What can I do for you today?
She really hates you, mate. Have you heard about the murder of Braden Lyrian?
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Raynil killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder.
Did you see his face? It's just like, oh, I can't believe he's saying things like that. This is brilliant. This is great. I love it. Yeah. Somebody smart in town, as it turns out. What about Raynil?
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know.
Yeah, I said you were a smart person.
Good journey to you. What can I do for you today? Raynil's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Nah, don't worry.
Well met.
Yes, he's smart, but not that smart. I have entered Raynil's room. I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. Well, I say that. Ooh. Pewter plate. Parchment. Aha, I saw it. Did you see it? The 8th day has passed, and still there's no sign of the artifact. We've covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower, and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out here, as if the ruins were paying respect to the Aelid inhabitants that disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before. Brandon paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning, our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3-1, we did very well. Only Rainiel suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion that Brandon had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the Great Keep. 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rocks, so typical of the Aelid architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of wall were far too heavy for us to move. Brandon suggested that we search the center of the building's foundations for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of back-breaking work, we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin, even though the sun doesn't shine down there. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what might lie ahead, or beneath. Eagerly, we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch, lit them, and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruin in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually leveled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way to the north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripwires, or pressure plates. Such was my speciality. The Aelid were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Brandon, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and was becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Brandon's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one in the order I had memorized. The 6th one, and then the 1st one, the 2nd one, the 8th one, and finally the 1st one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked into a huge room with a pedestal at the center. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of stylized spider. Or of a stylized spider. All 8 of its legs coming to a point and ending up at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the Aelid had left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Brandon's skill at acquiring information, we may never had known how to solve this last line of defense. I instructed Brandon and Rainiel to remain at the entrance and to tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the 3rd leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead as the pathway made by tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip could again mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back out and into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Brandon agreed to contract a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none would have access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening, we drank merrily and sang many a song of adventures past and adventures to come. Well, I probably want that because we're going to need it for what is to come. Hi! Good news!
What can I do for you today?
So, Rainiel Dralas was in on an artifact hunt.
Nothing else I can tell you about him. He comes and goes and doesn't talk to people much.
Okay. Well, do you know about Geliborn?
Geliborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Raynal told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Raynil and his so-called accomplishment.
Yeah. Y'all people are really gullible.
Just look for me if you need anything else.
Of course. Okay, so let's go to Skingrad. No, wait, not Skingrad. We need to go to... Oh, the officers are still there, aren't they? I say officers. The detectives, I suppose, would be a better term. I'm not really sure how that would work. The officer-y or not. Excuse me.
So, any new revelations in your, investigation?
Don't, me. Come here.
Keep up the good work, I suppose. So,
Yes. I know about Raynil.
I'll warn you about one thing. I understand you wanting to help Erlene by checking up on Raynil. We have it on good authority from officials in a neighboring city that Raynil is what he says he is. So I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. I am only allowing you to do this investigation, and I use that term very loosely, because Erlene is so distraught.
I'm trying to prove that you're a fart face. That's what I'm trying to prove. What about Braden?
I'm sure Erlene is very upset. She'll be safe, though. Raynil has confirmed with us that she isn't infected. Her accusations that Raynil is lying is not surprising. At this point, she's so upset that she'll say anything to deny what really happened. I suppose if I found out a loved one was something as horrid as a vampire, I'd find any excuse not to believe it either.
So, what about Geliborn?
How do you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Geliborn was killed by Raynil not too long ago. Geliborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
That's the second time you say the word... No, not you specifically, I think. The word obviously. I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Geliborn was not a vampire?
I have Geliborn's journal.
I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynil have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynil from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olev's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Will do. Oh, he's off. Good news!
Do you have any more questions?
No, I also don't have news.
I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
I can't believe the game actually tried to pull my hearts... It's not really my hearts. My heart is made of stone. My heartstrings... I was like, oh, I can't believe watching my death. You jerk, you should be... I should kill you.
May the wind be... This is a grand...
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynil was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Geliborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynil doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him.
I don't think there's any room for justice here. Because justice is not an incompetent buffoon such as you staying in the guard.